merch has dropped, and we have gotten some new reveals, so I thought it would be fun to go through everything with you and, overanalyze it. Okay, we didn't get too much revealed for Helluva Boss, but let's go ahead and go through them anyway, because they're awesome, so they deserve to be gone through. I'm just going to focus on the standees for this, minus a few who are not featured in the standees, just so we can still get everyone included. So, starting with Blitz. Pan, we already knew this. We'll go through these pretty fast. I don't think there's a whole lot of anything that can be overanalyzed. He has a horse. Of course he does. I think the heart in the background is an interesting touch for him specifically, considering he's afraid of commitment. I think maybe it could be hinting at him becoming a little more open to the idea in the future with a certain somebody, or I'm just reaching and trying to overanalyze everything. That could be true. But speaking of that certain somebody, Stolas. Okay, his is so awesome. I actually haven't looked at the Helluva Boss standees a whole lot, just because I tend to gravitate more towards Hazbin Hotel because it's the one I got into first. But his standee is so cool. I love the planets behind him and him just being the showman that he is. It is awesome. I love his coat. The planet, obviously, that's kind of his goetic job, is to, use the stars to prophesy, basically. So that makes a lot of sense to have that in his background. Loona, nice play on her name, having the moon for her backdrop. She looks awesome. I always love all of Loona's outfits. Like, Loona has the best outfits always. I love the little bi swirly around her. I'm bi, so I especially love this one. I'm bi and I love Loona. So, like, it's just an awesome standee. Got Moxxie and Millie, because of course they gotta be together. I wonder if once Blitz and Stolas officially get together, if they will be on the same standee in the future. That could be exciting. But this is so awesome. I love the two-tone where this one's bi on the inside and ally on the outside. This one's bi, or I guess they're both bi on the inside and ally on the outside. And then the top one is bi on the outside, ally on the inside. It's just really cool seeing the two-tone of it. I think it works really well for them. And the piano keys around the bottom. I'm not sure what this, is it supposed to be like a shield or something to represent Millie's fighting? Like, I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to be, but it's cool. It looks really cool. Them swinging around the pole and singing to each other, it reminds me of them at Ozzy's. Also, Millie's skirt, super cute. Love her being a super supportive ally wife. Oh my, Octavia's is awesome with the guitar. That is so cool. And also the planets too, so a little bit of Stolas' theming coming in, but a little bit of a spin on her own. Again, I am also Ace, so I naturally am like, this is so cool! I love the little Ace bow on her outfits. I just love the little details they put in here with something in the background tying into the character in some way. And Verosika looking awesome as always. Hers is pretty straightforward. It's a pop star setup. She's a pop star. We already knew she was Pan, so that's not a big reveal. Sallie May, I love how her float looks like a country float would. Like, this looks like something that they put together on their farm for her to be in this parade. And the attention to detail is so cool. And I love both the trans and the lesbian flags being represented for her. She's so badass and awesome. I love Sallie May. And Beelzebub, I'm pretty sure we already knew she was Pan too. I'm either that or she just was in my head. But I'm pretty sure that was revealed last year. The dessert theming, of course, is totally perfect for her. The sin of gluttony. I love the waffle pattern on her top and then the honeycomb pattern on her shorts. That is so cute. And Ozzy and Fizz, one of my favorite couples. They are so precious. And again, the fact that the established couples are on floats together, although Bee didn't have Vortex with her. I mean, Fizz is a much bigger character than Vortex is, so I guess I kind of get that. But I would have liked to see Vortex on Beast floats. But they look awesome. Obviously, Ozzy is pan, Fizz is gay. We already knew this. And again, a great job of having both represented. The background looks a lot like the wallpaper at Ozzy's, which I have studied Ozzy's a lot. If you did not join me for the live stream that I did where I made Ozzy's in The Sims, you should definitely check that out. And also be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any future live streams. Vassago is definitely one of the simpler ones, which does make sense because we don't know, like, he's kind of a big question mark right now. We know a little bit, we've seen enough of his personality to know that we like him, to know that he's awesome, but we don't know a whole lot about him. So I'm curious, like, if the X's in the background mean something. He also has X's on his shoes. So, and then there's this star, which stars seem to be thematic for him. I don't know if we've seen him, like, use stars or feature stars before, but stars just seem on theme for him for some reason. But the X's are interesting. I wonder what that means, because there's 4 very distinct X's, so that has to mean something. And he looks very stylish, of course. Okay, this one isn't a standee because Mammon didn't have a standee for some reason. Why not? I love the little balloon pin thing that he has, though. With the little Mammon squishy with the dollar tag on it, that is so on theme for him. I would have liked to see a whole float from him. I think that would have been a lot of fun because you know it would have been so extra and just crammed with stuff for people to buy. Maybe they didn't want to do all that. Maybe they'd already done so much. Maybe Mammon's float was just a little too much. And then we have Chaz. Did we already know that he was pan? I think he was maybe in the background of last year's Pride merch and we knew he was pan. If we didn't, it makes sense for him. It's what I would have assumed. Nice little heart necklace. Not really a whole lot to say. I'm not a Chaz lover, so. Barbie looking awesome. I'm pretty sure we already knew she was pan. Either that or it's one where I had in my head that she was pan, and so I just assumed that was already confirmed. But I think we already knew. She looks awesome, as always. Cannot wait to see more of Barbie in the future. Okay, moving on to the Hazbin Hotel ones. I do want to mention that it's really cool how all of these standees, the Hazbin and the Helluva boss, are made so that they interconnect so you can actually line them up like parade floats. And for the Hazbin ones specifically, while obviously you can put them in whatever order you want, I think there is an intentional order to them. And I think it's exactly what we see here on this page, where it's heaven, then the hotel, then the Vees. And the reason I think that is because we have Pinchus looking forward, we have Cherry looking back, so obviously they would be looking at each other. And then you have Husk looking wistfully, which we'll look at these in closer detail in a minute, but you have Husk looking wistfully towards the Vees floats, which has Angel on it. And interestingly enough, Angel is not positioned next to Valentino. Instead, he's on the opposite end. So it seems like their priority is to keep him as distant from the hotel as possible. And also, that is literally the order that they are on the website. So I think it's pretty clear that this is the order of the floats. I want to say that right out the gate because I'm going to be talking about that some. Let's start with Heaven. Their float being a chariot is so cool. I love that. Again, the detail on these floats, I do think it's interesting that for Helluva Boss, all the floats are individual apart from the couples, while in Hazbin, you have them in distinctive sets. Like, they could have done Helluva Boss, like the Sins have a float, and the IMP has a float, and the Goetia have a float, but instead they did individual, while for Hazbin, it's Heaven, the hotel, and the Vees. I wonder if there's a specific reason behind that? Because the Helluva Boss merch is still through Shark Robots, while the Hazbin, I think, is like through Amazon. So I wonder if there's reasoning where they had to do less for the Hazbin. I don't know. This is pure speculation. I just think it's interesting that that is different. Maybe they just had too many characters for Hazbin. Maybe they thought about grouping Helluva together, but the groupings didn't make as much sense, because then you have like Sallie May, who wouldn't fit with IMP or anywhere. She wouldn't fit anywhere. And like Fizz, could he go on the Sins float, or would he be on his own? So I can kind of see why maybe Helluva wouldn't work as well in the groupings, now that I'm thinking more about it. That could be the reason. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. But looking at the Heaven float, we have Pinchas looking off towards the hotel, and specifically towards Cherry, and obviously we already knew that he is bi. Then we have Sarah in her awesome lesbian flag attire. She looks great. I called that Sarah was a lesbian. I am so happy. I don't know if it's just because I ship her and Carmilla, but shortly before the Pride merch dropped, I'd actually made Sarah in The Sims. And when it came to deciding her sexuality, I was like, you know what? I think she's a lesbian. I'm gonna put her a lesbian. And then we got confirmed that she is, and I'm just like, yes, called it. I'm very good at spotting lesbians because I did the same thing with Velvet. I was like, I am convinced Velvet is a lesbian, and then last year we got the confirmation of Velvet's being lesbian. So I'm very good at spotting lesbians, apparently. Emily, we don't know her sexuality, which could mean that she doesn't even know her sexuality. Like, maybe she's just still figuring that out. Or maybe Viv just wanted to leave that one up to us. And then over here, we have Adam and Abel. And, okay, there's some stuff to talk about here. It is interesting that Adam, who is dead, is here, and Loot is not. And her absence is kind of glaring. It makes me wonder, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who's had this thought, if maybe she's not on the Pride float because she's homophobic. It makes a lot of sense for her character, and is kind of what I already headcanoned for her. Now, I know the voice actress recently said that Loot is bi, but Alex Reitman also said that Adam is bi, and he's not. He's an ally. The things the voice actors say, while they can be super fun to run with, that's not necessarily canon, and we have to keep that in mind. But at the same time, Loot being bi doesn't necessarily mean she can't also be homophobic. Both can exist in the same person. It could be that because she's homophobic, she hasn't realized that about herself because she suppresses that part of her. Or it could be that she is on some level aware of it and hates that part of herself, and that could even lend to a big part of Loot's personality being that she needs to follow orders. Like, she started hallucinating Adam to give her orders because she couldn't make her own decisions. She needed to be told what to do. If she is bi and homophobic, that would make her question herself and her own decisions and her ability to make her own decisions. So that would actually make a lot of sense for her character. I'm not sure that's what I believe. I personally headcanon her as straight and homophobic. I'm just saying, regardless if she is homophobic, if she is bi, if something is confirmed, you can still do whatever you want. That goes without saying. You can headcanon however you want. Viv has even said that herself. She wants us to have fun with these characters, but also to acknowledge that there is a separate canon of how they actually are. But that doesn't mean we can't do fan art, fan fiction, whatever we want. But also, if this does mean that Loot is homophobic, and you want to run with that, that also doesn't mean you can't also headcanon her as bi. That's what I'm really getting at here. But anyway, back to Adam, who actually is on the float. He is an ally, which has surprised some people. I think ally makes a lot of sense for him. I already believed he was straight. When Bretman said at a convention recently that Adam was bi, I was like, that's not my headcanon, but cool. I was like, I'm not adopting that. But it's the ally part that is really surprising a lot of people. They figured he would be more homophobic. And I think ally for Adam is a very loose definition. I see it as him basically fetishizing it. Like, we even have that moment in season 1 when Loot, talking about Charlie and Vaggie, says their love is vile and blasphemous. And Adam's response is, hot as fuck though. So we already know he kind of fetishizes it. So he would absolutely consider himself an ally because he likes to see it. Which is a very loose definition of ally, but, Yeah, that is how I'm interpreting him as an ally, personally. And now for the one that has surprised most people, myself included, and that is Abel is an ally. Okay, I have to share this story. So my husband goes to work before I get up. So the day this merch dropped, I wake up to a text from my husband that's just, Abel is straight? And I texted back, I reject that, which I say completely facetiously because I do not mind Abel being straight in canon at all. I just ship Holy Gates. And that ship's gonna live on in my heart, so. But, you know, the more I think about it, the more I actually do like Abel being straight in canon. I think it's a nice, oh, I'm missing the word, diverting of expectations, is that what I'm looking for? Something like that. It's a diversion of expectations, where you have the soft, more feminine guy, and you expect him to be gay, but he's straight. And I actually like that for representation, because it shows that even straight guys can be soft and feminine, and that's okay. There's not a problem with that. So I actually kind of love that. But I still ship him with St. Peter, so, in my heart, he is bi now. He was gay in my heart, now he is bi in my heart. Okay, moving on to the next float, we have the hotel. And, oh my, it's so cool. We have the whole hotel on the float, which is impressive. I love everyone's outfits. They all look so good. Let's start top left with Lucifer here in his pain attire, looking awesome. Not a big reveal. We don't have any reveals on this float. The big reveals were Sarah and Adam and Abel. There's still some stuff to talk about though. Like the fact that we don't have a reveal for Baxter. He is just in rainbow colors, which, like I said with Emily, could mean that he doesn't know what he is. And actually that makes a lot of sense for Baxter. He just doesn't seem to me like the type of person who spends a lot of time thinking about his sexuality. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if he doesn't know. Or it could just be that there is something in mind, Viv just didn't want to share it. That, that's going to come up as a plot point that she doesn't want to reveal yet. Or she just wants it to leave it up to us to have fun with it. Nifty, our ally, looking awesome. And Cherry looking back towards heaven. I love that. Technically she's looking up at Nifty annoyed because Nifty is like bouncing off her head. But she is turned to face back towards heaven. And then, Vaggie and Charlie look so awesome. I love their ribbons making the ribbons and their hands making a heart. That is so cute, so precious. I love their outfits, especially Charlie's suit. It is so cute. And I love the way their outfits kind of complement each other. Oh, another thing to note on their float, there's lots of like bags that, because it's a hotel, so you have some luggage as the props on the floats, which is cool. And then we have Husk sitting on top of some of the luggage, looking wistfully off towards Angel on the Vees float. Very sad because we can't get Husk happy in a merch drop lately, and it's always depressing. And then we have Alistair looking awesome. I can't compliment Alistair without feeling cool. And then we have Alistair here in a very snazzy ace suit. I love his little top hats. And notably, he is also looking off towards the V's. Probably towards one specific V. I can't be chill about this. I am freaking out over this part of the merch drop, and I'm probably overanalyzing it. But he is absolutely looking towards the V's. Looking all smug and Alistair and stuff. He's absolutely looking in Vox's direction. That's all I care about. But then over on the Vees floats, Vox is definitely looking in the opposite direction. He is not looking back towards Alistair. Valentino is very specifically positioning himself between Vox and the hotel, between Vox and Alistair. He's even like holding out his wings like he's trying to block the view. And Vox, okay, everyone's talking about Vox's expression. I love the jokes of the V's have started drugging Vox to get him to be chill and that this is his high expression. But I do not think that's what's actually happening here. Because the thing is, we've seen this face before, and I don't just mean in the Christmas merch drop where he also had this expression. I mean in the show, when they are doing the food drive, he makes this expression. This is his PR, look at me, I'm such a nice guy look, which makes sense that is what he would be doing after he nearly destroyed half the city. He would be like, look at me, I am nice. You don't have to worry about me killing everyone around. I am a nice guy, look. So I think that's what's actually going on here, not him being drugged. As hilarious as those jokes are. Velvet, always slaying with her outfits. Oh my, I always love Velvet's outfits. She looks so cute. Oh, I didn't really talk about Valentino's and Vox's outfits, but Valentino's very Valentino. I like that his wings have changed to pan colors. That is impressive. Vox's suits, I love so much. I love the little bi flag on the lapels. I love the sparkles on the sleeves. He looks great. And then we have Angel over here looking distinctly uncomfortable, which makes a lot of sense, because he is not where he wants to be. Oh, it's making me sad again. His outfit bears some similarity to what he was dressed in for the Vees press conference thing in season 2 also. Obviously, Velvet dressed him again. He looks great. He does. He's clearly uncomfortable, and I love Angel, and I feel for him, and I want to hug him. Well, that's it for today. Until next time, stay hyper.